It's Monday, September 15th.
Now we have some choices to make so that we can get our finances in control.
It's expected to be a key issue as Parliament resumes today, setting the stage for Prime Minister Mark Carney and the Conservative leader to square off for the very first time.
A number of losses this year, without a doubt, more than we've experienced in a number of years. But we also have seen some very heroic efforts by multiple people.
As a busy wildfire season winds down, what the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency hopes to learn and how they'll adapt.
It's really strange for someone like me who likes to control everything.
And WWE superstar Chelsea Green on her journey from Canadian wrestling hopeful to world champion. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
I'm Kayleen Swatsky. Good morning and happy Monday.
Hope your day's off to a great start. Let's address the elephant in the room. We've got a brand new show for you. What's new, Kayleen? We got this enhanced frame that's going to come into picture in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it feels very fresh this morning. Same great team, though.
Same people are here, and your weather forecast coming up in a couple of minutes. We got real wet on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, boy,
Lots
did
of
we
rain.
get wet. First, we have, of course, your news. MPs are returning to the House of Commons today. This will be the first time Prime Minister Mark Carney squares off against Conservative Leader Pierre Poilievre in the House.
I think ultimately the impact is going to be to see this interaction between Carney and Poilievre. We haven't really seen that before. We've seen it in the debates, but not in Parliament. And I think the Conservatives are going to use this opportunity to really showcase Pierre Poilievre as the leader.
Poilievre is returning after winning a seat in an Alberta by-election last month. He wasn't in the House of Commons when it sat in June because he didn't win his Ottawa area seat in the April election. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon is set to outline the Liberal government's fall priorities this morning, and budget issues will likely be a key topic. Mark Carney has signaled the fall budget's deficit will be bigger than last year's, partly because of U.S. tariffs and government response. Housing is expected to be a key issue this fall, and the Prime Minister has announced a Build Canada Legacy Fund.
This, along with a series of other new measures, will help double the pace of housing construction in this country over the next decade.
Build Canada Homes is Ottawa's proposed solution to build affordable homes faster. It's launching with an initial $13 billion capital investment to provide incentives for home builders. Specific locations for the homes aren't being announced yet, but it will start in 6 cities. 4,000 factory-built homes will be developed on federal land in Ottawa, Toronto, Dartmouth, Longueuil, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. Construction set to begin next year. Starting today, Canada Post will no longer be delivering commercial flyers. The union representing Canadian Postal Workers says it'll be moving to end a ban on overtime work and will instead have members stop delivering flyers. Canadian Union of Postal Workers President John Simpson says it's possible escalation of Canada Post continues to stall. The Union of Canadian Postal Workers says Canada Post is refusing to talk until the union significantly changes its latest offer. In early August, the union voted down what Canada Post said was its final offer, and the union responded with its own proposal. The Postal Service said that offer was a step backwards. Closer to home, the Saskatchewan RCMP Major Crimes Unit continues to investigate the suspicious death that occurred on the evening of September 12th northwest of Weyburn on Highway 39. Weyburn Police Service officers were the first responders to the initial incident, reported shortly after 8 p.m. and continued assisting Weyburn RCMP until arrival. On Sunday, the investigation determined the driver of a vehicle pulling a trailer may have valuable information related to a shooting. No other description of the vehicle was provided, but RCMP say around 8 p.m. the vehicle and trailer traveled along south on Range Road 2151 northwest of Weyburn and stopped at the intersection of Highway 39. That's in between Viterra and Richardson Pioneer Grain Terminals. The vehicle trailer then turned northwest on Highway 39, driving away from Weyburn. Anyone who may have seen this is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers.
We are asking the public to remain vigilant. We recognize the information we share may cause concern. We know you have questions, and it's our job to thoroughly investigate and to get answers. We will share those as we learn them and are able to. We continue to carefully monitor this unfolding situation. And if an urgent public safety risk is identified, we will notify the public immediately.
Canada's trade dispute with China. Canadian officials said last week that Ottawa and Beijing had constructive talks dealing with canola.
The most immediate concern, obviously, is the price of canola, which has basically over the past little while has dropped over $1 a bushel. To us, that's absolutely devastating, and and we don't know if this is the start. We don't know how far it can go.
China imposed nearly 76% preliminary tariffs on Canadian canola seed imports last month. The final ruling is not expected until next year. Canada is working to resolve the dispute. Mark Carney has also pledged $370 million in new support for producers facing massive Chinese tariffs. 2 Canadian women have died in Portugal after being struck by a train. A 62-year-old and 66-year-old women were both deaf and didn't hear the train approaching when it blew its horn. They were standing on the tracks taking pictures near the river. The pair were traveling with 2 other women who were not injured. Jeremy, we turn our attention to you. The 45th annual Terry Fox Run held across the province. Take us through yours.
Well, yeah, as you said, Daryl, good morning. Canadians across the country running and walking in support of the 45th annual now Terry Fox Run. Saskatoon residents took part at the Besborough Hotel Gardens to raise funds and talk about Terry's legacy. Hundreds of people turned out to connect with one another and run for a cure.
Terry's dream was that there would be a cure for cancer, and although our treatments are more advanced now, there's still no cure, and people are still diagnosed and die from cancer every day. And I think being 45 years, it's incredible the amount of money that's raised and his legacy of the treatments that are available and things like that. And it's amazing how one person can impact the world that way.
Now, according to the Terry Fox Foundation, the Marathon of Hope has raised over $900 million in Terry Fox's name. And the Saskatoon Rowing Club hosted a paddle party on Saturday. Rowing Club invited canoeists and kayakers to join their last local event of the season at Pike Lake. The event featured both a 5-kilometer race and a 300-meter sprint.
It's special. We're innovating. You know what? We want to have a good time, and create a bit of a legacy and for all 3 sports. Yeah, it was just awesome.
Now, this event was Saskatchewan's first regatta featuring rowing, kayaking, and canoeing. All right, Daryl, back to you with the Riders and a rough weekend there.
Yeah, a little bit. But on a positive note, they did clinch a playoff spot, Jeremy. Winnipeg and Edmonton lost, meaning the Riders are in. Happened the day the Riders got beaten up real bad by Montreal, 48-31. The team is urging the fan base to keep faith.
Yeah, I think the new day and age, the social media day and age, is the sky's falling. They've lost 1 in a row, and that's all everybody remembers. And the fact of the matter is, we're 13 games in, we're 10-3, we're sitting at the top of the West, and we control our own destiny of where we end through the rest of the season. And so how we respond to this is really the most important thing.
I just talked to him about we know what we want to be, but to not lose sight of the things that we've been able to do to this point. That room's pissed off. I'm pissed off because we didn't do things the way we wanted to do. So I think the timing for us is good for the bye, but to just remind those guys, you got to prove this every week. And I don't care who it is. If you don't come with it, you're going to be in for a long night.
Riders looking to regroup. Last bye week of the season is here before they take on Edmonton September 27th. Let's turn our attention to the Weather Center. Kayleen Sawatsky got some brand new tools to play with.
Brand new tools. Too bad you can't really see a shot out there this morning,
right?
Daryl. Lots of fog to
What's the
wake
thing?
us
They
up.
said moisture is 90 days after fog. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, well, we're getting some more moisture in the province today. Also seeing, obviously, a lot of fog this morning in Regina. And we're not the only ones waking up with that dense fog this morning. Up through the north, we're seeing it through La Ronge this morning, through Meadow Lake, also through Lloydminster, and then down through the Parkland region. Yorkton waking up with some fog this morning down through Estevan and, of course, waking up with us here in the Queen City. Temperatures really nice, though. 17 degrees to start our day. Calm winds as well with that fog. In Saskatoon, the morning view is looking a whole lot brighter this morning. 13 degrees to wake us up and a nice mix of sun and cloud as that sun is making its way up in the sky. Now, here's a look at that radar and satellite. You can see we had those dense fog advisories in effect. Just a few minutes ago, they were only down in that southeast corner. They are expanding north. So if you are heading out on the roads this morning, just pay attention. Make sure you're keeping your eyes on the road. We also have that precipitation that we saw making its way through the southeast overnight. Some more rain on the way today. We're talking about some precipitation to the east of Saskatchewan today and warmer temperatures to the west. And you'll see how that is making its way in throughout the afternoon. This is later on about 4:15 p.m. still impacting areas right along that eastern Saskatchewan border with Manitoba there. By about 10:30 p.m. you can see it's mostly out of the province, but it's really not until about 3:30 a.m. that we fully see that precipitation leaving the central and southern zones, just still leaving some rain way up north. Into tomorrow, we're not going to be seeing that rain down in the south. We're more likely just going to be seeing it through areas in the central and northern zones. Current temperatures now showing that Spiritwood waking up to 13 degrees. Nipawin starting the day at 12 degrees and South End starting the day at 16 degrees. A few degrees cooler down through East End this morning, 11 degrees to wake up. Yorkton at 17 degrees and Estevan also sharing that temperature of 17 degrees. We did talk about those warmer temperatures to the west today, though. Swift Current up to 26 degrees. Battleford's up to 26 degrees. 26 degrees in Moose Jaw this afternoon. And again, some of that rain down through the southeast. Weyburn up to 22 and Estevan up to 20 degrees. Here's a look at your work week ahead. Some very nice temperatures. To put this into perspective for you, the average for this time of year is about 18.7 degrees for Regina and 18.0 for Saskatoon. So these temperatures for the next few days looking really nice. 23 degrees today, 23 degrees on Tuesday. Wednesday, about a 40% chance of getting some rain with that mix of sun and cloud also making an appearance. 20 degrees that day, 18 on Thursday and 18 on Friday. In Saskatoon, 25 degrees today, a beautiful day to get outside. 23 tomorrow, 21 on Wednesday, 22 on Thursday and Friday.
It's a new treatment that offers hope to patients with blood cancers, and it begins with a discovery at a Montreal lab. CTV's Sweeta Rassi has the story.
François Luca Alzat was diagnosed with leukemia in 2014. Doctors told him he needed a bone marrow transplant.
Sadly, the hospital was not able to find a compatible donor for me.
In 2015, he seemed to be out of options until his doctor offered him an experimental treatment called UM171 cell therapy, designed to fight blood cancers. Here's how it works. Doctors collect stem cells from a baby's umbilical cord, and those cells are multiplied in a lab using the UM171 molecule. After the patient receives chemotherapy to wipe out the cancer, the new stem cells are infused just like a blood transfusion. For Alzat, the treatment was a success.
I am cancer-free. The treatment worked well.
Anne Marinier is a head chemist in the lab that developed UM171.
It saves lives. So I think it's a breakthrough.
Hematologist Guy Sauvageau explains the treatment rebuilds the entire immune system.
About 15 days later, it will reconstitute your entire blood system.
UM171 was first developed in 2014 at the University of Montreal and has helped 120 patients worldwide. Last month, the European Commission accelerated the approval process, but as for Canadian approval, that will take time as more testing is required.
This is like more 5 years from today.
Alzat is lucky that for him, the treatment was more than a trial.
They gave me a treatment that I think really, I think it probably saved my life, honestly.
Now that this Canadian therapy is available to Europeans, they're hoping Health Canada takes note and speeds up the approval process for what some believe is a life-saving treatment. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
A Regina pastry chef has returned from an international competition with a prize.
It was completely different. Cooking in a different climate and that kind of humidity was something I wasn't used to, but it was really exciting.
Emma Compton finished third at the catering business contest. She owns her own patisserie, but in the competition, she led a team for her friend's catering business, plating more than 1,000 desserts, including panna cotta and macarons.
My goodness.
Lots of work there.
The time and energy.
Yeah. It's not as easy as it looks, folks.
Not at all. My goodness. Jeremy Dodge is with us somewhere. We'll get to him in just a moment. We'll start with the question of the day.
Yeah, so we're asking you what issue should be top priority in Parliament this fall.
So there are a couple of ways you can answer this question, Kayleen.
Yeah, so you can text your name and your answer to 10400. Of course, standard message rates may apply. You can also scan that QR code on your screen right now. Let us know, what do you think the top priority in Parliament should be this fall?
This week, the Golden Girls debuted on NBC.
If there's ever a night where you can't sleep, I'll come to your room and sing Kumbaya. I don't know what to say. Don't ever do that.
The sitcom ran for 7 seasons, 180 shows, all focused on the lives of 4 women living together in Miami. The show was, and remains, beloved. It was a ratings hit, a critical hit, and it's been running in syndication somewhere pretty much ever since its finale in 1992.
I left 3 pins. I can't believe it.
I can't believe you can swing that ball past your hip.
Rose, everyone is finished, and I checked the score. If you can pick up a spare in the last frame, we'll be leading the tournament. Consider it done, Mom. Go to it.
Well, from idea to reality, Opus can help. So we sent our Mike Siona back to university this morning. Mike, tell us what's going on at the U of S.
Well, I will tell you exactly what's going on at the U of S. Not only are we at the U of S, but we are inside the Collider, where Opus is the anchor tenant. I'm joined by the manager of Opus, Jenilyn Santos Ong, and we are talking all about this program. Tell me, what is Opus, first and foremost?
So Opus is the startup incubator here at the University of Saskatchewan. We are the incubator for USask founders with a deep tech invention. We're part of the Innovation Mobilization and Partnerships Unit, which is housed in the Office of the Vice President of Research.
Okay, so deep tech. Talk to me about this. It sounds nefarious almost, but I'm guessing it's not.
So unlike traditional digital startups like SaaS software, deep tech requires a lot more time, a lot more money, a lot more research. So really what we're looking at is our innovations that require, that are research-backed, that are IP intensive, and usually solve global problems. So think clean tech, think ag tech, think manufacturing processes, advanced materials, a lot of engineering-backed innovations.
Okay, cool. So how long has Opus been running? How many, I guess, graduates? Do you call them graduates? Successful businesses? People that have left the nest?
Yeah, definitely. We've been running since 2022, so we're going into our 4th cohort. So to date, there have been 42 ventures that have gone through Opus and gotten that entrepreneurial training, as well as about 69 founders going through.
Cool. And so essentially, it's just that simple. A student or a faculty member here at the University of Saskatchewan has a great idea, don't really know how to take it from the brain to the business world, and this helps.
That's right. We give them access to entrepreneurial training. We give them access to infrastructure such as the Collider space here. And most importantly, I would say, is we give them access to a ton of experts in the field to help them build their venture as they're here at the university.
Very cool. And wouldn't you know it, we're out of time, but we will be talking to some of those young entrepreneurial minds and the mentorship side as well as the morning continues.
Thanks, Mike. We'll check back in with you later this hour.
right, we're taking a look at our school day forecast now. If you're about to get on the bus in Regina, it's a foggy one to start our day, but a nice temperature sitting at 17 degrees. 13 degrees this morning for Saskatoon. A nice mix of sun and clouds up in the sky. By lunchtime in Regina, 21 degrees, 23 degrees by lunch in Saskatoon, 23 degrees by final bell in Regina, and 25 degrees by final bell for Saskatoon. Once again, that mix of sun and cloud continuing on. And this, of course, is brought to you by CAA Saskatchewan. As we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $1.39.9, but you can find gas for as low as $1.16.9. The most common cost to fill up in Saskatoon, $1.35.9, but you can find it for as low as $1.28.9. Taking a look at farm markets now, the street price of canola is sitting at $578.12 per ton, and futures price at $636.10 per ton, and amber durum wheat sitting at $288.60 per ton, and red spring wheat sitting at $233.85 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.21 cents US. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we're in conversation with Saskatchewan's only elected Liberal ahead of a return to Parliament.
Morning, Saskatchewan. It is 6:30. Here's what's making news. We begin with some sad news to pass along today. Longtime Canadian journalist and CTV News anchor Bev Thomson has passed away after a long illness.
They tell me they can actually teach me how to be a helmsman, but now looking at these submarines close up, I'm not sure that that's such a good idea.
Generally, helmmen were deep.
Thomson was a longtime host of Canada AM. She guided Canadians for more than 3 decades through some very historic moments, interviewing former prime ministers, including Jean Chrétien, and some very historic figures such as former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and, of course, Donald Trump.
You could parlay that into a phenomenal political career if you wanted to, and you even thought about that in 2000.
People have asked me so many times, please run for political people, please run for office. It just doesn't seem to be my thing. I really like what I'm doing now better. I'm very honest to be a politician.
Beverly interviewed countless celebrities, including Celine Dion, Michael Bublé, and music sensation Tina Turner. Last year, Bev was also presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Radio Television Digital News Association of Canada, as the organization cited her accomplishments and impactful career. Beverly is survived by her 2 children, Taylor and Robbie. Sunday marked Firefighters National Memorial Day across Canada. Stations across the country took a moment of silence to recognize the date. The Saskatoon Fire Department observed a moment of silence across the city at 10 a.m. Additionally, station flags were flown at half-mast in memory of those who died serving others. To pay respect to RCMP members who have fallen in the line of duty, a national memorial service was held in Regina Sunday. RCMP officers from across the country, cadets, veterans marched in memorial parade at the historic Slay Square at the RCMP depot. In addition, the RCMP Pipes and Drums Band participated. The RCMP Commissioner, Mike Dume, says the memorial service honors and grieves fallen members while reflecting on the daily sacrifices made by officers in our community and the ones they serve. To honor the 250 RCMP members who lost their lives in the line of duty, members' names are read aloud while wreaths were laid at the memorial site. The prime suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann has turned down an interview request from the police in the UK. Christian Bruckner from Germany is serving a prison sentence for a separate offense. He is due to be released from prison this week. Bruckner was never charged in connection to McCann's disappearance. They met police. The police say he remains a suspect in that investigation. Hundreds of parents will have to wait to find out where their children will go to school after a school burned down. The fire at Val-de-Mont Montreal Elementary School happened on Friday night. Thankfully, no one was injured, but now about 400 students will have to be relocated. Today will be a PD day as the school officials work on a plan for the rest of the year. The cause of that fire remains under investigation.
It's incredible to see the support from the community. It's been incredible to see the community want to come out and volunteer. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, we put this on because it's a core teaching of the Holy Prophet to serve humankind and serve mankind. So that's why our youth are trying to put that into practice in the community.
Fun piece of video for you there. It was an historic night at Vatican City Sunday, turning St. Peter's Square into a musical stage for a massive free concert. Andrea Bocelli and Pharrell Williams headlined the Grace for the World concert at the Vatican over the weekend. The show marked the Vatican's Jubilee 2025 and wrapped up its World Meeting on Human Fraternity. Pope Leo also turned 70 on Sunday. The Bank of Canada will announce Wednesday whether it will cut its trend-setting interest rate. The central bank is expected to cut its overnight rate by 1/4 point to 2.5%. That would be a break away from its past 3 decisions to hold the rate steady at 2.75. The bank will have a decision on it. It will be a shift on Ottawa's tariff stance, lingering uncertainty about government spending plans, and the August inflation report due to come out tomorrow. Some economists predict the inflation rate could rise up 2%, up 1.7% in July. The annual MS bike race took to the streets of Waskesiu over the weekend, raising money and awareness for people fighting multiple sclerosis. Almost 250 bikes hit the pavement in the resort town near Prince Albert National Park for the 25th anniversary of the race. It's raised over $4 million since it started. Some of the racers were taking part on behalf of loved ones, and a lot of them came from Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba. And the organizers say the medals were handed out. The real winner in the race was people in the fight. The Regina Thunder continue to roll.
Fakes the handoff to Borsch. It's a pass over to the middle to Diorio. They haven't been able to connect on that pass all day. This one's broken free. It's Diorio in for the touchdown.
How about that persistence from Michael Diorio to find pay dirt? The Thunder beat the Winnipeg Rifles 25-12 Sunday at Leibel Field. The Saskatoon Hilltops trounced the Calgary Colts 51-3. Kayleen, we got a lot of great photos still coming into the inbox. I want to share this one with you. Stacy sent it to us from Treaty 4 in Capel this weekend. Fort Capel, rainy, but she said that didn't dampen their spirits.
Well, yeah, I saw a lot of people actually out enjoying the rain this weekend, which was nice to see, splashing in those puddles.
Absolutely. What's on tap for us today?
Well, some more precipitation on the way for many places in the province today. Regina and Saskatoon not included on those lists, though. We are going to be seeing some precipitation mainly to the eastern border of Saskatchewan, and I'll show you that on our weather tracker in just a moment, though. Right now, the obvious thing to talk about here is the fog. We're seeing some visibility issues this morning in Regina, down through Estevan, and then up through the Parkland region in Yorkton. As we turn our attention way up to the north, Meadow Lake, also seeing some fog this morning, some visibility issues out on those roads, as well as Lloydminster, so be careful out there this morning. Saskatoon, a beautiful start to the day, sitting at 13 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud, and that mix of sun and cloud going to carry us into our afternoon as well. Now, on our radar and satellite, you can see that the dense fog advisories have continued to spread north this morning. It was only about an hour ago that we were seeing them just down in this southeast corner, and now obviously they have expanded. We're seeing quite a bit of clouds today as well. This is at about 10:30 this morning on your screen. Some thunderstorm activity likely for Estevan, all those oranges and yellows on your screen there. North of Yorkton there, also seeing some of those yellow colors. As we continue on into the afternoon, you can see it's rotating rather than tracking all the way into Manitoba, so it's still going to be bringing some pretty persistent rain to that eastern border there down in the southeast. And then right as we reach those evening hours, about 11 p.m. now, you can see it's almost clear from that precipitation throughout the central and south zones. Just a few spots there on your screen, and then fully out of consideration by about 3:30 in the morning. Tomorrow, we are expecting a little bit more of that precipitation in the province. It's mainly going to be in areas around Prince Albert there, as you can see on your screen. Current temperatures now showing that the warm-up is happening a little bit slower this morning. Spiritwood still at that 13-degree mark. Hudson Bay, though, has gone up to about 16 degrees. East End still calm this morning at 11 degrees. Assiniboia at 11 degrees. And warmer through the southeast this morning. Weyburn and Estevan at 17 degrees. Some rain expected again down in that southeast corner. So 21 degrees expected for Weyburn with that, 20 degrees for Estevan, and then warmer as we turn our attention to the west. Swift Current up to about 26 today, and Battleford's up to 26 degrees as well. 5-day forecast looking pretty nice in terms of those temperatures for Regina. However, we are talking about the possibility of a little bit more of that rain on Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures going down to right around the seasonal average by Thursday. And in Saskatoon, 25 degrees today, the high, a beautiful day to get outside. 23 on Tuesday, 21 on Wednesday, and then 22 for both Thursday and Friday. And your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is money. Head to the contest page on ctvregina.ca or CTV Saskatoon, or scan that QR code on your screen. Enter code word along with info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Regina's $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow for a brand new code word. Good luck.
Parliament resumes this morning in Ottawa as our elected officials get back to work, and that includes the Secretary of State for Rural Development, Buckley Belanger, who joins us now this morning. Welcome to your morning.
Good morning, Daryl, and good morning to all your listeners out there in CTV land.
It's a very busy day for you. You are the lone representative for the Liberal Party in this province, an elected official. What are your priorities for this upcoming session, Buckley?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of pressure points that we've recently been engaged with. Everything from the forest fire situation to the canola tariffs, and of course the challenges around housing. There's a lot of work being done to look at the whole issue around crime. So there's our agenda is fairly full. We've had a very busy summer, but by and large, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and we're certainly making every effort to try and meet some of the issues that concern Canadians, and in my case, the Saskatchewan people as well.
Buckley, the Premier of this province, is heading to China to try to get those canola tariffs gone or at least reduced. What is your government doing on that file right now?
Well, as you know, the Prime Minister is front and center in a lot of the discussions as it pertains to world trade, and our Prime Minister's got a lot of experience in that regard. He's got a great team of ministers that accompany him and of course, support him as well. And I would say that it's great to see premiers do the work as well. So I commend Premier Moe for that effort. But clearly, I think the Prime Minister, by sending his parliamentary secretary with the Premier to China to talk about these matters, I think it was very important that the provincial or federal government send a representative to signal to the Chinese government that we're all in this effort together. And I think both Premier Moe and our parliamentary secretary certainly deserve a lot of credit for going on that trip and representing the canola interest in the whole trade matters that's out there.
Has there been any conversations in your caucus about just removing the EV tariffs on Chinese vehicles to further this thing along? It seems like a pretty simple fix if you're a farmer out in Elbow, Saskatchewan this morning.
Well, something that's really, really important, I think, for the people of Saskatchewan to be aware as it pertains to EV vehicle. I'm going to defer that particular question to folks that are leading that, or I shouldn't say folks, but the ministers that are leading that particular file. All I would say back from my perspective is that you look at the whole issue around the world trade, there's so many things that moving each and every day. And as I mentioned earlier, the Prime Minister with his a team of very capable ministers are managing and representing us on that particular stage to try and ensure that the Canadian interests are being maintained. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, these matters change every hour. So I'm going to leave it to the Prime Minister and that very impressive team, to respond to the EV situation, other than to say that, from my perspective, we look at the opportunity to attach to EV and some of the environmental benefit, the employment it creates for Canada, the choice it gives Canadians across Canada. From my perspective, back home in Saskatchewan, I drive a Ford, and I got a Chev, and I got a Skidoo, and I got a boat, and these all are combustion engines. So as you look at the emerging value around EV market, I'm not going to debate this on, of course, the international stage, but there are some pros and cons to how the EV industry is developing for Canada.
Of course, Minister. And we're all out of time. I do want to thank you for your time. Good luck in Parliament today as session opens, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Thank you very much.
Welcome here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Laura Dykin with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head to Detroit. Some NFL action as the Bears and the Lions were facing off. Final moments of the first half. It's Jared Goff airing it out for Isaac Taslaw. And look at this. He's just one hand, gets his shin down in bounds. His first NFL catch last week was a jaw-dropping one as well. That was a touchdown. This one just as spectacular for Taslaw, who earns our must-see moment from Sunday. Well, tonight on TSN, we've got not one, but two Monday night football games to wrap up week number 2 in the NFL. First up is the Buccaneers and the Texans, then the Chargers and the Raiders. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Central Time with kickoff set just after 6 o'clock. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
It's time for your Monday morning weather or not. Here's your question. Over the past 50 years, what place on Earth has warmed the most? Is it A, Canada's Northwest Territories, B, Antarctica, C, Poland, D, Sahara Desert, or E, Atlantic Canada? What do you think?
Jeremy, I'm leaning towards Sahara Desert, but that might be too obvious, so maybe I'm going to go to a cold place. I'm going to go with A. What about you?
Yeah, A, it's got it. No, I'm going to say B, Antarctica, right? Why would it be the desert? That's silly.
Kaylin, you got the answers.
I do. Okay, so the correct answer is A, Canada's Northwest Territories. Good job.
One. I get one.
Yeah, so with global warming, Canada's Northwest Territories and Arctic has been heating up at least 3 to 4 times faster than the rest of the world.
There we go. Our Monday morning weather or not.
Yeah.
We're back right after this.
I want to recount.
I want to recount.
Monday, September 15th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to John. He's marking his 80th birthday. We hope it's a great one with lots of love from your wife and the rest of your family. Also celebrating a birthday today is Ben. Happy birthday to you. We hope you have a fantastic day with lots of love from your family and your friends. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, make sure you send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Hey, Chase, welcome to the all-new Your Morning Saskatchewan for the very first time.
Very, very cool. It's looking sharp, and now you're in the same thing that I was a few years ago. You're probably going to call the show the wrong name numerous times, eh?
We have a Days Without Incident board. Absolutely we do. What's going on the radio?
Well, we're not giving away $20,000, but we are giving away some cash here coming up with your big money montage at 7 this morning. So 8 minutes out, we got $1,550 to give away. 2 of the 3 songs have been guessed now, so I'm feeling good. Today's probably going to be the day we give away that cash. Plus, we'll play some head blank after 7:30. You finish which headline is actually real, and we'll give you a chance to beat the box office for Old Dominion before those tickets for that May show go on sale this Friday.
Chase, thanks, and great photos at the Keith Urban concert. Your seats were just a touch better than mine. We'll see you next hour.
They're really good. See you next hour. Thanks.
And the Emmy goes to Lauer.
Severance may have had the most nominations going into Emmys night, but it wasn't the show that took home the biggest prize. The HBO medical drama The Pit won the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series.
I want to dedicate this on behalf of everyone to all the healthcare workers, frontline first responders. Respect them, protect them, trust them. Thank you.
Seth Rogen's The Studio, meanwhile, won for Best Comedy, and the Best Limited Series prize went to Adolescence, a British crime drama from Netflix. The show's young star, 15-year-old Owen Cooper, made Emmys history, becoming the youngest ever winner in that category.
Tonight proves that if you listen and you focus and you step out your comfort zone, you can achieve anything in life.
The Japanese animated film Demon Slayer topped the weekend box office, taking in about $70 million. The Conjuring Last Rites, in its second weekend of release, notched the number 2 slot with just over $26 million. Rounding out the top 3, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, with just over $18 million in ticket sales.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes.
And happy birthday to Tommy Lee Jones, who turns 79 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
All right, if you're into pranks, you'll love this dedicated prankster in our sidebar. Dedication, 20 minutes, Kayleen. He sat there silently, waiting for his friend to arrive. And bam!
And that is far more patient than I.
Right? That's a prank that takes some time, Jeremy.
Worth it.
Worth it.
The good prank.
Look at that reaction.
Yeah.
Worth it. All right, Kayleen.
All right, well, are you afraid of bugs, either of you?
Depends on the bug.
These people are.
Yeah, it depends.
Gary! Gary! Did you eat it?
You got it? Yeah. With the kitchen towel?
Oh, boy.
Okay, so this family had a total freak out when a cockroach got into their home. Everyone got involved.
Oh, man.
Trying to catch it.
What a nice family activity. Yeah. Oh, good.
This is
They're
what
all
I call bonding.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
That's team building. That's it for us for this hour. We're back right after this. Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Obviously, there's some changes. You're noticing some stuff on your screen, our new enhanced screen to bring you more information as you are on the go. But some things stay the same. Easy for me.
Yeah, a lot stayed the same. It's a new look. It's a bit fresher, but the same great team.
Essentially the same lineup as well. We do start with news. MPs are returning to the House of Commons today. This will be the first time the Prime Minister squares off against the Conservative leader in the House.
I think ultimately the impact is going to be to see this interaction between Carney and Poilievre. We haven't really seen that before. We've seen it in the debates, but not in Parliament. And I think the Conservatives are going to use this opportunity to really showcase Pierre Poilievre as the leader.
Poilievre is returning after winning a seat in the Alberta by-election last month. He wasn't in the House when it sat in June because he didn't win his Ottawa seat in April. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon is set to outline the Liberal government's fall priorities this morning, and budget issues will likely be a key topic. Mark Carney has signaled the fall budget's deficit will be bigger than last year's, partly because of U.S. tariffs and government response. Housing is expected to be a key issue this fall, and Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a Build Canada Homes Agency.
This, along with a series of other new measures, will help double the pace of housing construction in this country over the next decade.
Build Canada Homes is Ottawa's proposed solution to build affordable homes faster. It's launching with an initial $13 billion capital investment to provide incentives for home builders. Specific locations for the homes haven't been announced, but it will start in 6 cities. 4,000 factory-built homes will be developed on federal land in Ottawa, Toronto, Dartmouth, Longueuil, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. Construction is expected to begin next year. RCMP Major Crimes investigating what they call a suspicious death in Weyburn. It happened Friday night northwest of the community on Highway 39. Police say their initial investigation shows the driver of a vehicle pulling a trailer may have valuable information, but no description of the vehicle was provided. Police say it was on Range Road 2151 northwest of Weyburn about 8 p.m.
We are asking the public to remain vigilant. We recognize the information we share may cause concern. We know you have questions, and it's our job to thoroughly investigate and to get answers. We will share those as we learn them and are able to. We continue to carefully monitor this unfolding situation, and if an urgent public safety risk is identified, we will notify the public immediately.
If you have any information, call police or Crime Stoppers. Amid Canada's trade dispute with China, Canadian officials said last week that Ottawa and Beijing had constructive talks dealing with canola.
The most immediate concern, obviously, is the price of canola, which has basically over the past little while has dropped over $1 a bushel. To us, that's absolutely devastating, and and we don't know if this is the start. We don't know how far it can go.
China imposed nearly 76% preliminary tariffs on Canadian canola seed imports last month. A final ruling is not expected until next year. Canada is working to resolve the dispute. Mark Carney has also pledged $370 million in new support for producers facing massive Chinese tariffs. To pay respect for fallen RCMP members, the National Memorial Service held Sunday in Regina. RCMP officers from across the country, cadets, veterans alike, marched in a memorial parade at the historic square at RCMP Depot. In addition to the pipes and drums band, they participated in the annual event as well, along with RCMP Commissioner Mike Dume. The National Memorial Service honors and grieves fallen members while reflecting on the daily sacrifices made by police officers in our communities. Hundreds of people are participating in the 45th annual Terry Fox Run in Saskatchewan, including Regina. This was yesterday in an effort to raise money and spread awareness for the Terry Fox Foundation. People gathered at the Mackenzie Art Gallery to walk or run around Wascana Centre. Last year, through community and school runs, Saskatchewan raised over $900,000 for charity. Residents of Regina sharing the different reasons they participated. Let's turn our attention to Saskatoon, where they also had a Terry Fox run this weekend. Jeremy Dodge is following that. Jeremy, over to you.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, it's the 45th annual Terry Fox Run, so a milestone of sorts. In Saskatoon, residents taking part at the Besborough Hotel Gardens, raising funds and talking about Terry's legacy. Hundreds of people turned out to connect with one another and run Walk for a Cure.
Terry's dream was that there would be a cure for cancer, and although our treatments are more advanced now, there's still no cure, and people are still diagnosed and die from cancer every day. And I think being 45 years, it's incredible the amount of money that's raised and his legacy of the treatments that are available and things like that. And it's amazing how one person can impact the world that way.
According to the Terry Fox Foundation, the Marathon of Hope has raised over $900 million in Terry Fox's name. And Sunday marked Firefighters National Memorial Day across Canada. Stations across the country taking a moment of silence to recognize the date. Now, in Saskatoon, the fire department observed a moment of silence across the city at 10 a.m. Additionally, station flags flown at half-mast in memory of those who died helping others. All right, Daryl, we are expecting an interest rate decision this week.
Jeremy, thank you. The Bank of Canada will announce on Wednesday whether it will cut its trend-setting interest rate. The central bank is expected to cut its overnight rate by a quarter point to 2.5%. That would be a break away from the past 3 decisions to hold steady at 2.75. The bank will make its decision based on a shift in Ottawa's tariff stance, lingering uncertainty about government spending plans, and the August inflation report, which is due out tomorrow. Some economists predict the inflation rate could rise up to 2% from 1.7 in July. Saskatchewan Roughriders have clinched a playoff spot. Winnipeg and Edmonton both lost over the weekend, meaning the Riders are in. It happened on the same day the Riders were beaten up real bad by Montreal, 48-31. The team now urging the fan base to keep the faith.
Yeah, I think the new day and age, the social media day and age, is the sky's falling. They've lost 1 in a row, and that's all everybody remembers. And the fact of the matter is, we're 13 games in, we're 10-3, we're sitting at the top of the West, and we control our own destiny of where we end through the rest of the season. And so how we respond to this is really the most important thing.
I just talked to him about we know what we want to be, but to not lose sight of the things that we've been able to do to this point. That room's pissed off. I'm pissed off because we didn't do things the way we wanted to do. So I think the timing for us is good for the bye, but to just remind those guys, you got to prove this every week, and I don't care who it is. If you don't come with it, you're going to be in for a long night.
Riders look to regroup. Bye week now. Then they take on Edmonton on September 27th. Kenny Swatsky in with our weather forecast, and you can't see a whole lot behind you right now.
Would you believe me if I said Regina's not even seeing the worst of it this morning? Our visibility radar this morning actually showing that the densest fog right now is in Prince Albert, also seeing it through Lloydminster, Meadow Lake, and La Ronge, and then down through the southeast. So Yorkton also seeing some of that fog this morning, Estevan, and of course Regina, as you can see. The positive to this morning view, though, is that temperatures are very nice this morning, almost at the seasonal average. That's about 18.7 degrees for Regina, and we're already sitting at 17 degrees with that fog and the cloud cover. In Saskatoon, some very calm winds to start our day, but the temperatures have been fluctuating a bit this morning. They've actually gone down in the past few minutes, currently sitting at 10 degrees. Now here's a look at where those dense fog advisories are currently in effect. We can also see how that precipitation made its way through late last night into early this morning, and we're going to be getting some more of that as we continue on into the later parts of the morning and afternoon as well. So take a look down in Estevan on your screen there. We are seeing some of those reds and oranges indicating that we're likely to see yet another thunderstorm down in Estevan later on this morning. As we continue on into the afternoon, we think it's going to be pushing off, and then it decides to stick around. It rotates, again, bringing some more of that rain throughout the southeast. Into the evening hours, we start to see it start to clear up quite a bit, but it's not fully out of the province until about 3:30 in the morning. At that time, we're still seeing some of that rain up north as well. And tomorrow, we can expect a little bit more rain through the central zones, not so much down in the south, though. Current temperatures now showing Spirit Woods still at that 13-degree mark. Melfort waking up to 12 degrees. Hudson Bay at 15 degrees. Moose Jaw 15 degrees to start the day, and East End at 11 degrees. Temperatures this afternoon looking really nice, even with that rain that's on the way. Those temperatures are once again above that seasonal average. Estevan up to about 20 degrees, Yorkton up to 21, Swift Current 26, and the Battlefords having a nice high of 26 degrees today. Your forecast for your work week, again, looking really nice, but we do have a chance of getting some very light precipitation on Wednesday and Thursday in Regina. We're not seeing that in Saskatoon later on this week. We're just going to be seeing a nice mix of sun and clouds for this week, some very calm winds all the way until Friday, and temperatures remaining nice and high. 25 degrees today, 23 tomorrow, 21 on Wednesday, and 22 degrees expected for both Thursday and Friday.
Ahead on your morning in 10 minutes, what the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency has learned from the wildfire season. At 8:15, we are sitting down with Conservative Health leader Andrew Scheer ahead of the Parliament resumption. At 7:45 or so on CTV Saskatoon and Prince Albert, we're getting some hearing help from sound impressions. And on CTV Yorkton and Regina's Got Talent, what you need to know about the Sept Center's latest fundraiser. Your morning is back in just 3 minutes.
Taking a look at our rural forecast now, where, as you can see, waking up to quite a bit of fog. 23 degrees expected for Spiritwood today. Watrous, a nice mix of sun and cloud, up to 25 degrees. Outlook included in those areas where we could see just a little bit of drizzle, but a nice high of 26 degrees. Rockland, 26 degrees as well. Some more cloud cover over in Coronach, 27 degrees though, and some more rain down in that southeast corner. Now let's take a look at, this says Unity. It's actually Lanigan, folks, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 24 degrees again for Lanigan today. Some sunny breaks, but again, we are seeing quite a bit of cloud cover today and winds remaining fairly low all throughout the afternoon.
New ideas are a critical component to life at the University of Saskatchewan. And this morning, our Mike Siona is seeing firsthand how they go from concept to real-world application. Mike, I understand you've got a couple of entrepreneurial students who are using the Opus program with a new invention.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In fact, one of them is here with me right now, Ethan Doan. And what have you done here? I mean, talk to me about this PathoScan technology.
Yeah, so how this thing works is we basically have portabilized the ability for farmers to go and test their crops. So right now, if you're a farmer, you have to send samples to the lab. And the problem with that is by the time you get those samples back, it could be too late for your crop. So we took the exact same technology that the labs are doing, and we made it into a way that the farmer themselves can actually use. And you can see sort of the device right there.
Incredible. So this was called the PathoBox. It was formed here through the Opus program. Brilliant concept. This is what, the third iteration of this?
Yeah, this is the third version. Every year we try and make it better so that it can work better with the farmers.
And it really is as simple as what? Just dropping in a sample and bang, within a half hour you have results?
Yeah, so all you do is you basically crush up your plant. You put a little piece of paper into that crushed up plant, put that paper into some water just to wash away any of the plant material that's still on it, and then put that into a pink little tube, throw it in the box, press the button. Half hour later, if that tube is yellow, your plant is positive for whatever bacteria or fungi you're looking for. So that could be Fusarium, could be Sclerotinia, could be Aphanomyces, could be basically anything that you want to test for.
Amazing. So what we don't want is the yellow. I figured that part out. Talk to me about what it's been like working with the team here at Opus, and just kind of how that's helped you guys get through the process.
Yeah, so Opus has been incredible for us. They provided a lot of mentorship for us. They provided access to this wonderful space, which is the Collider room that you'll be seeing all this morning. And the team itself is just incredible support for anyone who's trying to get into business but doesn't exactly know what sort of business skills that they actually will need to succeed.
Absolutely brilliant. It's like you like just come here and they'll pop the idea right out of their head and boom, look at that, the PathoBox. Thank you very much for a couple of minutes. Appreciate your time. That's the mentee. When we come back, we'll talk to one of the mentors here at Opus and get a perspective from the other side of the ledger.
In case you missed it, Humpty Dumpty has taken a big fall, and now police are investigating a statue at a mini golf course in New Jersey has been toppled and left down the street. There it is. It's kind of creepy. Yeah. Police are looking for the two pranksters who did this at around 4 a.m. last week. Hopefully, in this case, all the king's horses and his men can actually put him back together again.
Listen, destruction of property is never okay, but look at that thing. Look at it.
Okay, that red circle that's his cheeks, right? His rosy cheeks. That's not his eye.
The other one's a hat and missing hand.
Maybe we take this as a sign to just replace it. Get a new Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
It's probably okay that this one fell. Let's get over to our question of the day. We're talking politics this morning.
Yeah, so we're asking you what issue should be top priority in Parliament this fall. We want you to text us your answers to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Make sure you add your name to that as well. You can also scan that QR code on your screen right now. Let us know what you think.
Welcome here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Laura Dykin with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head to Detroit. Some NFL action as the Bears and the Lions were facing off. Final moments of the first half is Jared Goff airing it out for Isaac Slaw. And look at this, he's just one hand, gets his shin down in bounds. His first NFL catch last week was a jaw-dropping one as well. That was a touchdown. This one just as spectacular for Slaw, who earns our must-see moment from Sunday. Well, tonight on TSN, we've got not one, but two Monday night football games to wrap up week number 2 in the NFL. First up is the Buccaneers and the Texans, then the Chargers and the Raiders. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Central Time with kickoff set just after 6 o'clock. That does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
Time for your morning mystery. It is a song today. This song was written by Lindsey Buckingham. That's clue number 1.
Okay.
It's the first track on Fleetwood Mac's 1975 self-titled album, so a few years before Kayleen was born.
Okay.
Tracks.
And a lyric is, quote, blank morning, you sure look fine. Friday, I got traveling on my mind. We've got our whiteboards.
Oh, no.
You've got a couple of seconds to write down your answers, team.
No.
I know it.
I just listened to this album yesterday. So, hold on. So now everybody's going to see how, everybody's going to see how good we write now too. Okay, hold up your answers. Question with a sad face. That's what you.
I don't know this one.
All right, let's see the answer, Director Corey. What do we got? The answer for this one is Monday Morning by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, and on a Monday morning too, I should have put that together.
2 of the 3 of us got it right. That is your morning mystery. Let's hear a sample.
Monday morning, you sure look fine.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, it's time now for your school day forecast brought to you by CAA Saskatchewan. It's a foggy start to the day in Regina, sitting at 17 degrees if you're getting on the bus, though, so that's not so bad. 21 degrees by lunch and 23 degrees by the final bell. Mainly cloudy, but some sunny breaks. In Saskatoon, 12 degrees right now. We just bumped right back up from that 10-degree temperature. 23 degrees by lunchtime with that mix of sun and clouds, and 25 degrees. That's well above the seasonal average, so a very warm day to get outside by final bell. 25 degrees with sun and clouds. And as we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $1.39.9, but you can find regular fuel for as low as $1.16.9. And in Saskatoon, the most common cost to fill up is $1.35.9, and the lowest you might find is $1.28.9. Taking a look at farm markets now, the street price of canola is $578.12 per ton, and the futures price is $636.10 per ton. Amber Durham wheat is $288.60 per ton, and red spring wheat is $233.85 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.21 cents U.S. After the break, highlights as the Regina Thunder continue to roll. Stay with us.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. Hope your day's up to a great start and you're enjoying our brand new look. Let's get to your headlines. An investigation into a motive is still ongoing, and Utah's governor says Charlie Kirk's alleged killer is not cooperating.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important.
Tyler Robinson was taken into custody around 33 hours after Kirk was shot dead at an event at Utah Valley University. Utah's governor has said that Robinson's roommate, who is also his partner, is cooperating with investigators. Robinson was arrested on suspicion of crimes of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. He is currently being held without bail at Utah County Jail. On the eve of Parliament's return, Conservative politicians gathered in Ottawa, laying out their own plan for the session. Colton Prail on what's shaping up to be a busy fall.
Pierre Poilievre joked he took the scenic route back to Ottawa, but as Parliament prepares to return, the Conservative leader is wasting no time putting the Prime Minister's feet to the fire.
The tariffs are worse, crime is worse, immigration is worse. That is not what Canadians voted for.
Decrying a Liberal government he says has been more talk than action.
He promised elbows up, and where did the elbows go from there?
Poilievre promised a Conservative focus on 4 key areas this fall: the cost of living, job losses, crime rates, and immigration.
Pierre Poilievre is going to be talking about things that people are feeling and experiencing around the kitchen table. And Mark Carney is talking about national projects that are frankly very hard to relate to.
And while the Liberals warn of a possible austerity budget this fall,
now we have some choices to make so that we can get our finances in control.
Poilievre is drilling down on increasing concerns about the overall health of the Canadian economy.
Remember that? Spend less, invest more. $62 billion of net investment has left since he became Prime Minister.
We are seeing evidence that people's anxiety around the economy is increasing, that some of those, some of that optimism might be wearing a little bit thin, that people are expecting to see some results.
The Conservatives have promised to introduce legislation aimed at unlocking Canada's economy and tackling bail reform.
But the Liberals are eyeing those very same issues. They launched the Major Projects Office and are promising a crime bill of their own.
2025, a very busy wildfire season. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency has been navigating through this whole thing. 487 wildfires to date. Steve Roberts is with the SPSA, joins us from Prince Albert this morning. Steve, thanks for doing this. Is your team getting any rest these days?
Well, they're getting more rest than they have been. Things are slowing down. We only have 31 active fires now. That's down from what we had. And more importantly, the impacts of those fires is greatly reduced. We have no evacuations right now. We have no road closures. And the fires are being managed. We have crews on them. So it is easier on the crews right now, but still some work to do.
Is it too early to learn from this season, or are you learning all the time?
No, we always are. I mean, everything we did this year, we'll take that to review in the fall here, and we'll look at some of the things that happened, especially things that weren't common, but that were unusual. This year, we relied heavily on bringing in resources from outside of the province. We found those very effective, but we'll continue to grow on that.
You signed on an agreement with California and Nevada to share some resources. What does that agreement look like?
So we already had agreements with a number of U.S. states, and the most recent partners that have agreed to join with the Northwest Compact, which already has a number of states. So California and Nevada see an advantage of sharing resources in critical times. We know what California went through over the winter here, and then, of course, what Saskatchewan went through. But this is good because they are effective. I mean, the very first resources that were brought into Saskatchewan were air tankers from our partners in Alaska.
I know you probably don't want to get political, but is it time for a national task force on wildfire?
Well, I think we have to look at what is happening nationally. Again, wildfire is a provincial jurisdictional issue, but we do need to have a conversation. It is, how do we support each other? How are we doing enough? Just having provinces deal with some of these larger scale issues, our international, our continuing growth, we may be able to get some competitive advantage, some leverages from our federal partners when we look at this on a national scope.
Steve, along the way, we heard people from various communities and political parties saying we should bring in the military, we should bring in Quebec, we should bring in all these U.S. states to help do these things. How do you make the determination that it's time to do so, and did we do a good enough job this year?
So as an example, we actually, including the 300 military, we brought in over 1,200 trained firefighters. The military were the Type 3 lowest trained, but all of the rest were senior qualified Type 1 and Type 2. So they're the best of what in their jurisdiction. So from Mexico, from Quebec, every province in Canada contributed resources to Saskatchewan except for Newfoundland. They had their own. So that's incredible that we can leverage, do our work for best practices to ensure that we have resources that are compatible. We look at, the community of Beauval, the community of Pelican Narrows, fire completely surrounding those communities, but losses minimal to none. And more importantly than anything else, we did not lose a single person to wildfire from the public, from our folks, even though the situations this year were extremely critical.
Steve, thank you to you and your team for your hard work and dedication and the long hours. It has been a hot, dry summer across the Maritimes. The drought conditions are having a major impact on farmers in their fields, and now their bottom lines. Sarah Plowman reports.
This harvest is peeling back the drought's damage.
That's not sellable. Yeah.
Corn is small or riddled with holes. The little rain that recently fell helped a lot.
A bit of water can basically provide miracles.
Still, losses add up.
We lost about 40%, and that's being conservative over the whole season.
It's been a hot, dry summer, and there's little rain in the forecast.
We're getting really dry.
A problem across the Maritimes.
So we've had less than 30 millimeters of rain for our whole season, where we would normally get 25 a week.
Kent Coates is glad he had the foresight to build this irrigation system.
If I hadn't had that irrigation, we wouldn't have any vegetables this year. I probably couldn't sell any of my field crops.
Still, the yield is smaller.
So normally, those potatoes would have 3 times that mass.
This drought has been difficult for farmers' crops, but also costs. Margins were already thin. This expert expects it's less likely food prices will go up at large grocery stores, but more likely it'll happen at farmers' markets.
Even farmers that have irrigation were struggling, especially if they weren't set up with automation.
Coates thinks this season will be okay, but the water table is low and he worries about next year. As for this harvest, expect some crops to be smaller.
Everybody's doing their best, but ultimately Mother Nature's the final, is the big boss.
Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Bugtouche, New Brunswick.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Jerusalem this morning, where he met with the Israeli Prime Minister.
America has no better ally than Israel. It's obvious that Israel has no better ally than America. You've been a remarkable partner.
Talks centered around Israel's strike against Hamas in Qatar last week. Heading into the meeting, Marco Rubio said the U.S. is not happy about it, but now is the time to figure out what comes next. Rubio says the U.S. stands with Israel against terror, and it will keep encouraging Qatar to play a constructive role in Gaza. Sports news this morning, the Toronto Blue Jays had the brooms out yesterday.
So then he hits it high and deep to left, and it's gone.
George Springer hit a home run and drove in 2 runs as the Jays crushed the Orioles 11-2. Sunday's big win capped off a 3-game sweep of the Baltimore Orioles with the Yankees last Sunday. The Jays now hold a 4-game lead atop the AL East. The Jays are back in action in Tampa tonight, where star rookie Trey Yasavage will make his first career start. And the Regina Thunder continue to roll.
Fakes the handoff to Borsch. It's a pass over to the middle to Diorio. They haven't been able to connect on that pass all day. This one's broken free. It's Diorio in for the touchdown.
How about that persistence from Michael Diorio to find pay dirt? The Thunder beat the Winnipeg Rifles 25-12 on Sunday at Leibel Field. Saskatoon Hilltops, by the way, they trounced the Calgary Colts 51-3. Beautiful day for football yesterday, I guess. Better than a flood the other night.
Yeah, we are expecting some more rain in the province today, but Regina and Saskatoon not likely to be impacted. What we are seeing this morning, obviously, is that fog. In Regina right now, visibility sitting at about 0.8 kilometers. That's not the worst in the province. The densest fog this morning that we're waking up to is actually in La Ronge and in Prince Albert. Currently, visibility there at 0.4 kilometers. Also being impacted today, as we mentioned, Meadow Lake, Lloydminster, Estevan, things are improving, so that's good to see there. Yorkton still seeing some of that fog this morning, though. 17 degrees, so we're still stuck at that mark, but at least it's a very nice start to the day in terms of the temperature. 12 degrees in Saskatoon now, just a few clouds waking us up. Here's where we're seeing that dense fog advisory currently in effect. So if you're waking up with us in any of these spots this morning, take your time on your morning commute this morning. There's no rush to get anywhere. Let's keep everybody safe out there. The Futurecast now showing where we're going to be seeing that rain today. And yes, we are seeing some more of those reds and yellows and oranges on your screen, particularly down in the southeast, right over top of Estevan. So that is where we're going to be likely seeing some storm activity later on. It's going to be tracking east, but more so rotating, still bringing some rain to the Parkland region and areas around Estevan, even some down throughout the southwest as well into the afternoon today. As we look towards the evening hours, we still see just a little bit of those precipitation spots on your screen, but fully out of the province by about 3:30 in the morning. That's down towards the south, though, still seeing some precipitation way up north, and that is going to be tracking down towards the south as we make our way to tomorrow. Current temperatures now showing that there hasn't been a whole lot of change in the past few minutes. Spiritwood is still at that 13-degree mark. Dipwin at 12 degrees to start the day. Down in the southwest, we see Swift Current at 12 degrees, Assiniboia at 10 degrees, and the southeast, Estevan waking up to that 17-degree mark. Temperatures today going to be above the seasonal average, even with that rain that we're expecting. So 21 degrees for Weyburn and Estevan, up to 20 degrees. Towards the west, though, we're seeing some of those warmer temperatures and not as much of that precipitation, as we said. 26 degrees for Swift Current and 26 degrees for Moose Jaw. The 5-day forecast in Regina looking really good for those temperatures for the first 3 days, and then dropping down to 18 degrees for Thursday and Friday. And Wednesday and Thursday are those days that we could be seeing just a little bit of rain in Regina for parts of the afternoon. And in Saskatoon, 25 degrees is the high today, 23 degrees tomorrow, 21 on Wednesday. We're not seeing that rain on our radar for Saskatoon. 22 degrees on Thursday and 22 for Friday.
Welcome back to Your Morning Saskatchewan. Thank you for being with us. Revving engines and spinning tires on Prince Edward Island. Some high-speed fun, all for a good cause. A tractor race has become more popular each and every year. Maria Saru takes us to the track.
A green light and they're off for turn one. Drivers kicking up red dirt, racing on lawn tractors.
It's like basically a low-dollar NASCAR. We call it grass car.
Jeff Wilson, director at the PEI Lawn Tractor Racing Club, says regular mowers might move at 7 kilometers an hour, a far cry from these speeds. These tractors are modified to hit 85 kilometers for the club's top division. The brakes and steering are enhanced too.
I love it. Love it. We race with the grandkids and it's a family affair.
Starting at 6 years old, children can race as well at lower horsepower.
I saw them going around the track. I was like, that looks fun. I want to do that.
Friendships have formed around this track.
You can make new friends and you can just have fun.
These machines may have small engines, but racing them has a big impact. The PEI Lawn Tractor Racing Club has donated more than $10,000 to local charities, including the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
It helps other people
like kids that need stuff, like clothes and stuff.
Most of the donations come from ticket sales, and the stands are packed.
We had no idea where it would go, but it's amazing.
Racing grass cutters is a low-cost way to break into the hobby.
The problem with car racing today is that it's become so unaffordable for everybody, and this is just wonderful.
A way to keep family fun alive on a backyard budget, all while giving back in a big way. Maria Saru, CTV News, St. Peter's Bay, Prince Edward Island.
Big weekend, the 45th annual Terry Fox Run across Saskatchewan, including Regina, in an effort to raise money and awareness for the Terry Fox Foundation. People gathered at the Mackenzie Art Gallery to walk or run around Wascana Centre. Last year, through community and school runs, Saskatchewan raised over $900,000 for the research. Residents of Regina shared why they went out to run. We're still waiting for the totals from this year's run. When we got those, we'll share those with you. A Regina pastry chef has returned from winning an international competition with a prize.
It was completely different. Cooking in a different climate and that kind of humidity was something I wasn't used to, but it was really exciting.
Emma Compton finished third at the Catering Business Contest. She owns her own patisserie, but in the competition, she led a team for her friend's catering business, planting more than 1,000 desserts, including panna cotta and macarons. Emma, congratulations. And Pharrell Williams headlined the Grace for the World concert at the Vatican over the weekend. The show marked the Vatican's Jubilee 2025 and wrapped up its world meeting on human fraternity. Pope Leo, by the way, turned 70 on Sunday, so happy birthday to him. Canada's own Seth Rogen, one of the big winners at last night's Emmy Awards.
I'm legitimately embarrassed by how happy this makes me. And to be standing up here with all these people, these are the best people I know.
The studio set a new record with 13 Emmy wins, including Best Comedy Series. The show also won for writing and directing, with Rogen also picking up an acting award.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Rummage and Bake Sale is on September 19th at 4 p.m. and September 20th at 9:30 a.m. It's being held at the Westminster United Church, and for more information, you can call 306-757-6444 or 306-533-0601. The Fall into Fall Craft and Trade Show is on Saturday, September 20th at 10:30 a.m. It's being held at the Broadway United Church. The Multiple Myeloma March is on Saturday, September 20th at 11 a.m. It's being held at Rochdale Park, and for more information, you can go to myelomamarch.ca. A tribute to Elvis is on Sunday, September 21st at 2 p.m. Advance tickets are $20 and $25 at the door. It's being held at Our Lady of Peace Church, and for tickets, you can call 306-543-2728. The medical fundraiser Dinner and Silent Auction is on Thursday, September 25th at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are $30 each, and it's being held at the Serbian Club. For more information, you can call 306-541-4465. If you'd like your event shown here, you can email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca with at least 2 weeks' notice.
September 15th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to John. He's marking his 80th birthday today. We hope it's a great one with lots of love from your wife and the rest of your family. Also celebrating a birthday today is Ben. Happy birthday to you. We hope you have a fantastic day with lots of love from your family and your friends. And if you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please make sure you send them in at least one day in advance.
Chase, what's going on the radio today?
Well, I thought we were going to give away money at 7 o'clock. We did not. The big money montage still continues on. So we got $1,600 now coming up here at 9 a.m. Again, 2 of the 3 songs are guessed correctly. You can see those at purecountry927.ca. But $1,600 could be yours. 9 o'clock to start off a Monday. Always nice. And your Country Minute on the way. We'll get you a recap of the CCMAs over the weekend. Plus, why Zach Bryan was trying to fight another artist. It was a real, like, hold me back, don't make sure you don't let me go kind of moment. But things got heated, so we'll share that with you coming up in 5.
Chase, thank you so much for your time and energy, and you can always check him out on the iHeartRadio app. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Daryl. See you then.
We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is money. Head to the contest page on ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Regina $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow for a brand new code word. Good luck.
And the Emmy goes to Adolescence.
British crime drama Adolescence was the big winner at the 77th Emmy Awards. The Netflix series won the Limited Anthology Series or Movie categories for Outstanding Series, Directing, Writing, Supporting Actor for Owen Cooper, Supporting Actress for Erin Doherty, and Lead Actor for Stephen Graham.
I'm just a mixed-race kid from a block of flats in a place called Kirby. So, for me, to be here today in front of my peers and to be acknowledged by you is the utmost humbling thing I could ever imagine in my life.
Seth Rogen, The Studio.
In the comedy categories, The Studio was the big winner, taking home 4 Emmys, with Seth Rogen winning Lead Actor.
I've never won anything in my life. When I was a kid, I bought a used bowling trophy at an estate sale. And my parents were like, yeah, that's a good idea. You should probably buy that.
And returning to the stage for writing, directing, and outstanding comedy series.
It's getting embarrassing. I really appreciate it, in all honesty.
The Pit.
Medical drama The Pit won 3 Emmys for Outstanding Drama Series, Catherine Lanasa winning Supporting Actress, and Noah Wiley for Lead Actor, marking his first Emmy win.
To anybody who's going on shift tonight or coming off shift tonight, thank you for being in that job. This is for you.
And the Emmy goes to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Arguably the biggest standing ovation of the night went to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and its win for Outstanding Talk Show.
Sometimes you only truly know how much you love something when you get a sense that you might be losing it. And 10 years later, in September of 2025, my friends, I have never loved my country more desperately. God bless America. Stay strong, be brave, and if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy and punch a higher floor. Woo!
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Time for a second helping us sidebar. Some grandmas are cooler than others, and this one, bit of a daredevil. Tickles your screen. Go, Grandma, go. First time tubing got off to a bit of a rocky start. Getting on the tube, of course, never easy.
Oh, I would be nervous.
You never look good going onto a tube.
Wobbly.
There's no good way to go.
The driver of that boat was being so cautious.
So cautious. Absolutely. This prankster in this next video, a little bit out of control. All right, Kaylee, Maureen, I'm going to count to 3, and on 3, we're going to say the name of the person in this office that would do this prank. Are you ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, Nathan. Yeah, absolutely. Producer Nathan would do this to us in a heartbeat, Jeremy. Be glad you're a couple hours away.
I am counting my blessings every day.
Every day there's something different about our surroundings here. And we don't like it.
Sometimes we don't like it, but we always love it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, in its own quirky way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of this hour. We're going to reset. We got your weather and your news right after this. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
I'm Kayleen Sawatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Just a little bit of rain.
A little bit of rain.
My goodness.
Mainly, you know, well, over the weekend, yeah, but mainly some more today towards the east.
It's coming down sideways for a little while. You called it. You did call it. We got your news right now. We begin in Ottawa, where MPs are back on Parliament Hill for the first time since June as the House of Commons begins its sitting. Returning after winning a seat in the Alberta by-election last month, he wasn't in the House in June because he didn't win a seat in the election in April. Government House Leader Stephen McKinnon is set to outline Liberal government's fall priorities this morning, and budget issues will likely be a key topic. Carney has also signaled his fall budget deficit will be bigger than last year, partly because of U.S. tariffs and his government's response.
Substantial means that it'll be bigger than it was last year. First and foremost, it's the tariff war, the shock that's created by that, the rupture created not just in Canada but around the world, and the knock-on effect, including on the United States, where the economy has slowed as well, I would observe. So you have the impact of that. Build Canada Home.
The Carney government's first federal budget is expected to be delivered in October or November. And fresh off the government's housing announcement this weekend, we're getting a better look at the real estate market in this country. New data out today shows August was the busiest month for Canadian home sales in 4 years. The Canadian Real Estate Association reports just over 40,000 home sales across the country last month, a 1.9% increase from a year earlier. Home sales were also up 1.1% month over month, marking the 5th straight monthly increase. The CREA is forecasting the trend could accelerate this fall, with a potential Bank of Canada interest rate cut this week, spurring additional interest from buyers. Starting today, Canada Post not going to deliver commercial flyers. The union representing Canadian postal workers says it's moving to end its ban on overtime work and will instead have members stop delivering you those flyers you love or hate. Canadian Union of Postal Workers President Jan Simpson says it's warning of a possible escalation if Canada Post continues to stall. The union says Canada Post is refusing to talk until the union significantly changes its latest offer. In early August, the union voted down what Canada Post said was its final offer, and the union responded with its own proposal. The Canada Postal Service said that offer was a step backwards. RCMP Major Crimes investigating what they're calling a suspicious death in Weyburn. So it happened on Friday night northwest of the community on Highway 39. Police say their initial investigation shows the driver of the vehicle was pulling a trailer, may have valuable information, but they didn't give us a description of the vehicle. Police say it was on Range Road 2151 northwest of Weyburn on 8 p.m. on Friday.
We are asking the public to remain vigilant. We recognize the information we share may cause concern. We know you have questions, and it's our job to thoroughly investigate and to get answers. We will share those as we learn them and are able to. We continue to carefully monitor this unfolding situation, and if an urgent public safety risk is identified, we will notify the public immediately.
If you have any information, call police or Crime Stoppers. Amid Canada's trade dispute with China, Canadian officials said last week that Ottawa and Beijing had constructive talks dealing with canola.
The most immediate concern, obviously, is the price of canola, which has basically over the past little while has dropped over $1 a bushel. To us, that's absolutely devastating, and and we don't know if this is the start. We don't know how far it can go.
China imposed nearly 76% preliminary tariffs on Canadian canola seed imports last month. A final ruling is not expected until next year. Canada is working to resolve the dispute. Mark Carney has also pledged $370 million in new support for producers facing the massive Chinese tariffs. We take you now to Saskatoon. Join Jeremy Dodge. News on the 45th annual Terry Fox Run.
Yeah, Daryl, 45, kind of a milestone. So Canadians right across the country running and walking in support of the Terry Fox Run. In Saskatoon, residents taking part at the Bessborough Hotel Gardens, raising funds for and to talk about Terry's legacy. Hundreds of people turned out to connect with one another and run for a cure.
Terry's dream was that there would be a cure for cancer, and although our treatments are more advanced now, there's still no cure, and people are still diagnosed and die from cancer every day. And I think being 45 years, it's incredible the amount of money that's raised and his legacy of the treatments that are available and things like that. And it's amazing how one person can impact the world that way.
According to the Terry Fox Foundation, the Marathon of Hope has raised over $900 million in Terry Fox's name. And Sunday marked Firefighters National Memorial Day. This is right across Canada, and stations across the country and Saskatoon marking a moment of silence recognizing this date. Now, the Saskatoon Fire Department observed a moment of silence right at 10 a.m. Additionally, station flags flown at half-mast in memory of those who died helping others. All right, Daryl, back to you with an update from the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Hey, your Roughriders are in a playoff spot as of this morning. Winnipeg and Edmonton lost, meaning the Riders are in. This happened on the same day the Riders beat up by Montreal 48-31. Head coach and the players urging you to keep the faith.
Yeah, I think the new day and age, the social media day and age, is the sky's falling. They've lost one in a row, and that's all everybody remembers. And the fact of the matter is, we're 13 games in, we're 10-3, we're sitting at the top of the West, and we control our own destiny of where we end through the rest of the season. And so how we respond to this is really the most important thing.
You know, I just talked to him about we know what we want to be, but to not lose sight of the things that we've been able to do to this point. That room's pissed off. I'm pissed off because we didn't do things the way we wanted to do. So I think the timing for us is good for the bye, but to just remind those guys, you got to prove this every week, and I don't care who it is. If you don't come with it, you're going to be in for a long night.
The Riders will look to regroup. Last bye week of the season, September 27th, they play Edmonton. Kayleen, let's get over to you in weather.
Show you this morning outside of our morning view picture. Typically, we start to see the fog start to rise about this time. Well, unfortunately, we're not seeing too much improvement in Regina. Where we are seeing improvements in the visibility this morning is actually way up in Meadow Lake and then way down in Estevan. We are still seeing a lot of visibility issues with that fog this morning in Yorkton, in Prince Albert, and in Lloydminster as well. So be careful out there today. We are still at that 17-degree mark in Regina again. When that fog lifts, we're still going to be seeing some of those overcast skies, but at least the winds are fairly calm to start our day. 13 degrees for Saskatoon. We do have a few clouds up in the sky to start our day there. We also do have these dense fog advisories in effect. Hopefully soon that fog will start to lift and we can start seeing this disappear on our screen. We also do still see that rain that we saw impacting mainly the southeast corner of the province overnight and into later on this morning. Around Estevan, there you can see some more of those colors, so those oranges and those reds, meaning that we are likely to be seeing some more of that storm activity down there today. As we continue on into the later afternoon hours, we start to see it rotate, trying to push east into Manitoba there. Most of the storm activity does, but we still do see a lot of that precipitation down towards the south part of the province. A few specks still on the screen as we head into those late night hours, and that system should be fully out of the south by about 3:30 in the morning. Still seeing some of that precipitation falling up north and still falling throughout some parts of the central zones into tomorrow. Current temperature temperatures now showing Buffalo Narrows has jumped up ever so slightly, currently at 15 degrees. Nipawin at 14 degrees this hour. Hudson Bay waking up to 16 degrees. Moose Jaw up to 15 degrees this hour, and Assiniboia just a couple degrees below that at 13 degrees. Swift Current today going to be a very warm day. Mix of sun and cloud there up to 26 degrees. 26 degrees for Moose Jaw as well. But again, we're talking about some of that rain falling down in the southeast. Estevan up to 20 degrees and Weyburn up to 21. Your 5-day forecast today showing a high of 23 degrees in Regina today. That is above the seasonal average of 18.7 degrees for Regina. 23 degrees tomorrow and about a 40% chance of some rain falling for both Wednesday and Thursday, clearing up for Friday. In Saskatoon, not seeing that rain falling this week. We're seeing a nice high of 25 degrees, 23 tomorrow, 21 on Wednesday, and 22 degrees for both Thursday and Friday.
Well, Christmas still more than 3 months away, but we are getting a look at what the biggest gifts of the year might be. This was at London's Business Design Centre, hosting the annual Big Christmas Wish List Awards. And yes, toys, always the big deal. This year, they include Barbie's Dream Camper and Lego's new collaboration with F1. So 101 days until Christmas. And some things never change. Barbie and Lego at the top of lists right across the world. Who knew?
I was going to say, Jeremy, so some things never change. I had a Barbie camper.
You had that one?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
And I got my niece one for Christmas a few years ago. So some things just don't go out of style.
So many Lego pieces for you. And they're so elaborate now, Jeremy. Like you can't just, you build it once and then that's it. Like I don't think you're taking that apart and building it multiple times, are you?
Well, you can.
Yeah, in theory.
Mostly you build a display piece, though, is mostly how it is. But see, like the Lego City ones are play sets. You play with it once it's built.
Oh, well, where are those ones? Mateo's walking through every aisle going, can you put this on my Christmas list? Can you put that on my Christmas list? This is your Christmas list? When is Christmas? Is Christmas Thursday? No, Mateo, Christmas is not Thursday.
Still a while away.
I suppose it's Christmas for politicians in a sense because they're back to work today. What should the top priority be for our politicians in Ottawa this fall? Kayleen, what's on the big board?
Well, a lot of people saying health care. Tanya on our in our email inbox saying the top thing in Parliament should be on the table is wage increases for health care. We also had Charmaine write in and say Saskatchewan's first topic in Parliament should be health care in Saskatchewan, but must include rural areas. We know that that's very important here in Saskatchewan. Michelle on X also saying health care and cost of living. So health care definitely the #1 answer. We also had a very nice answer in our text line that just said to get along. We have to get the job done. We are Canada, and you get more done when you work together, right?
I suppose that's a good theory.
Sure.
Yeah. Lori also saying, I think the top priority for Parliament this fall needs to be the economy. People are struggling to afford food, houses, etc. So lots to be done in Parliament this fall. Thank you for your answers for today's question of the day.
Safety Month, and safety advocates are urging all parents to keep young children safe in vehicles by knowing how to install and use car seats correctly. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has tips from a pediatric emergency medicine doctor about how to make sure your child is in the right seat.
It remains a leading cause of death for youth in the U.S. In 2023, motor vehicle crashes killed more than 1,000 children ages 14 and younger.
Many of the children who are injured or killed in a car crash are either completely unrestrained or using a restraint improperly.
Dr. Manisha Agarwal with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says the most important thing parents can do to keep children safe on the road is to use the right seat in the right way. First, make sure to buy the right car seat. Very young children need to ride in rear-facing seats as long as possible until they hit the maximum height and weight suggested on the seat. Then, a forward-facing seat is the next step, followed by a booster seat. Check the seat's manual for maximum height and weight limit.
And if you've thrown out the instruction manual, most of these car seat manufacturers have really helpful websites where you can find that manual and figure out what that height and weight limit is.
Next, make sure the seat is properly installed. The Safe Kids Worldwide organization says use either the seatbelt or lower anchors to secure it. Don't use both at the same time. Forward-facing seats need a tether with the seatbelt or lower anchors. A properly fitted harness can also provide protection. Agarwal says a child passenger safety technician found at some places like fire stations can help make sure your seat is set up correctly.
You may be the world's safest driver, but you cannot account for every other human being out there on the road.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
When it comes to innovation incubation, mentorship is key. And our Mike Siona is with one of the mentors at University of Saskatchewan's Opus program.
Well, we're joined by David Yee, who is one of the mentors here at the Opus program, and we're inside the Collider, a very cool incubator, co-working space here at the University of Saskatchewan. Talk to me, David, if you would, about your role as a mentor and what you aim to do.
Yeah, I brought into the program here by Opus in order to support a lot of the founders who are coming into this particular program. The mission that I take typically is that I meet the founders exactly where they're at. So that's depending on what they need at that particular time. It could be technical support, it could be business support, sometimes it's professional support, and often I'm just a sounding board just to help support them on whatever they want to discuss.
Yeah, no doubt. Sometimes you just have to say something out loud and have it kind of bounced back at you in a different way to tweak the way you're thinking about something. Not a what's in it for me kind of thing, but what do you derive from it then from the mentorship side?
Yeah, a lot of it is just a personal satisfaction in terms of my career. I want to be able to support a lot of these young people who are going and developing new technologies and innovation for our province and mostly for the future of our economy.
Now, how important is that, aside from the obvious terms that, we want to continue to see the economy grow, but how important is it to foster that and develop it from our own grassroots?
Well, with these technologies, and a lot of people who are inside of this particular program, it takes a lot of time to develop. This is not easy work to do, and it takes a long sort of development time. So they need people who are in mentorship in there. And part of, for me, for personal satisfaction, is to be able to make an impact in terms of the future economy and helping support young people become an integral part of it.
No doubt about it. In many ways, they say it takes a village to raise a child. I would think in terms of economic development and deep technology and all of the work that's being done here, it takes a village as well.
Absolutely. And it's really important for all of us to become a villager in Saskatchewan.
There you go. All right. The Opus program right here inside the Collider at the University of Saskatchewan has been a fantastic morning. Hope you learned at least as much as I did.
Very interesting. Thanks for that, Mike. Terry Fox's legacy hits close to home for many Canadians, and the annual Terry Fox Run provided an opportunity for people to connect and run for a cure in Saskatoon. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
The 45th annual Terry Fox Run had countless Canadians across the country reflecting on Fox's legacy.
And even though I wasn't quite sure, because I was so young, what I was exactly fighting for, I fought for it because Terry fought for it, and it really inspired me to keep going and finish the battle.
Hundreds gathered in Saskatoon's Besborough Gardens to raise money for cancer research and talk about how the courageous 22-year-old inspired a whole country.
Terry's dream was that there would be a cure for cancer, and although our treatments are more advanced now, there's still no cure, and people are still diagnosed and die from cancer every day. And I think being 45 years, it's incredible the amount of money that's raised and his legacy of the treatments that are available and things like that. And it's amazing how one person can impact the world that way.
Saskatoon's run was an opportunity to celebrate the success of the nationwide event and reflect on the various ways people people are impacted by cancer. Many cancer survivors were in attendance, wearing red Terry's Team shirts.
Everyone needs hope while they're going through treatment, no matter kind of what point you're at, and your family needs the hope too. And so keeping the battle in mind, but getting through it and knowing that there is hope at the end, and you have to keep going.
Also in attendance were those who have witnessed loved ones receive a cancer diagnosis and have been inspired to make a difference in their own way.
I'm actually in medicine now, studying to become a doctor and hopefully work with cancer research or even with people dealing with cancer. And so, yeah, I really don't think that I would be here today if it weren't for Terry Fox.
According to the Terry Fox Foundation, the annual walk has raised over $900 million worldwide in Terry Fox's name. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Parliament resumes later today. We get a chance to catch up with Andrew Scheer, the House Leader for the Conservative Party of Canada, in studio with us in Regina this morning. Thank you so much, Andrew, for doing this.
You bet. Good morning.
Let's start with your priorities as we head into this busy session.
Well, first and foremost, we need to see some fiscal responsibility. Justin Trudeau ran massive deficits. Mark Carney refused to table a budget in the spring.
And that is coming in October.
Yeah, so we want to see some path to a return to balanced budget. Certainly, we don't want to see bigger deficits than even Justin Trudeau had. Crime is still a massive problem. Liberal changes to bail caused a flood of criminals in our street who have multiple prior convictions, and we want to see those laws changed. And we're going to push Mark Carney to actually deliver on big projects. In Saskatchewan, there's a lot of people that are still out of work in the steel sector, the oil and gas sector. We were hoping that he would do what he promised, move quickly to get big things built. It's been a pretty disappointing summer for that. Not a lot of good news for Saskatchewan, and certainly none of the nation-building projects that were going to help us fight back against tariffs that Mark Carney promised.
What other Saskatchewan-based projects could be passed through that major projects bill?
Well, you know, there was a pipeline on the books that would have brought Western Canadian energy to northern BC to sell to Asian countries. That was a multi-billion-dollar project, would have created jobs right here in Regina at our steel plant, and had First Nations partnerships all along the route. We would have liked to have seen something like that revived. We would have liked to have seen something quickly expanding our LNG export capability on the east coast of Canada. A lot of European countries have asked the Liberal government to sell LNG. The Liberals say there's no business case. That wasn't on the list either, so that's pretty disappointing.
Possible it's still coming?
We'll see. I mean, I'm not holding my breath. I think most people who voted for Mark Carney, expecting that he would be different from Justin Trudeau, I think are severely disappointed. Turns out he's just another Liberal. He doesn't believe in our oil and gas sector, doesn't believe in developing these resources, and as a result, Canadians are going to suffer.
Well, there are policies that are still coming, so we'll wait to see on that. But the Chinese tariffs on canola have been very devastating, especially you're in a rural riding here in Saskatchewan. Any chance that we see some negotiations that lessen the impact on farmers here in Saskatchewan?
Well, we're certainly going to be pushing for that. Conservatives were out very quickly after the Chinese announced an increase in those tariffs and applying it to more products. As you know, there's a lot of yellow on the ground in the summer in and around Regina and all over Saskatchewan. It's a huge industry. I think it was Scott Moe pointed out that the canola industry is worth more, $63 billion or $43 billion. It's worth more than steel, aluminum, and the auto sector combined. So that's something that we were very disappointed it took the Liberal government so long to react to that. That's something else we're going to be pushing for in the fall is support for our canola producers and a strategy to get rid of the tariffs. I wish the Prime Minister was engaged on this particular file, but once again, whether it's Saskatchewan's oil and gas or Saskatchewan's ag sector, the Liberals have just never shown that kind of support for them.
How about wildfire relief, before I let you go? Obviously, this is a devastating season. A lot of people are calling for a national task force.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about the relief after a wildfire happens, it's better forest management. We had a lot of information that came out of Jasper about how the town of Jasper was raising the alarm with Parks Canada, with Environment Canada,
very early,
asking to do controlled burns early to get rid of some of the dead trees that were building up around the city. Liberal government said no because they said it would lead to more CO2 emissions. Well, guess what? When a wildfire rages through, those emissions get released anyway. So far better to do that early when you can do it in a controlled way, and then you've got a better shot of dealing with the fire that does eventually happen.
Next time you're back in town, you get to celebrate your brother-in-law, John Ryan.
Yeah,
the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. How does that feel?
It's pretty cool. You know,
You've been to a Super Bowl.
I have. I've been to two actually. A good one and a bad one.
That depends on the way you're looking at that. I'm a Patriots fan.
Okay. I'm going to take this off here. No, it's going to be very exciting. You know, it's kind of neat to be married into a Saskatchewan football family like the Ryans, and he's been a great booster of local sports here and Regina Minor football. He came back and played for the Roughriders after a great NFL career. So it's going to be great to see him inducted into the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame. He certainly deserves it.
Good luck in session, and we'll see you back here on the 21st when we do induct John into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. Welcome to your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 8:30. Let's get to your headlines for this part of the hour. We begin with U.S. President Donald Trump setting the conditions for imposing new sanctions on Russia as he heads to the U.K. in the wake of Russian drones intruding into Poland. Mary Bruce leads us off.
This morning, as Russia steps up its aggression, President Trump is raising new conditions for tough sanctions on Moscow.
But Europe is buying oil from Russia. I don't want them to buy oil. And the sanctions that they're putting on are not tough enough. And I'm willing to do sanctions, but they're going to have to toughen up their sanctions commensurate with what I'm doing.
Trump saying he'll sanction Russia, but only if NATO countries do the same, and agree to impose sanctions on China, an unlikely scenario. He's also demanding NATO members stop buying Russian oil and gas.
This is, in a way, a bit of an empty threat.
For weeks, the president has threatened Russia with economic consequences, but never followed through, blowing past his own deadlines. On Capitol Hill, the pressure growing from some Republicans who say it's time to act now.
I think appropriate sanctions on Russia are far overdue.
It comes as tension is running high in Eastern Europe. Russia and Belarus holding joint military exercises as Romania Saturday scrambled fighter jets after Russian drones violated their airspace, the second incursion over a NATO country in less than a week. Just days earlier, Poland forced to shoot down more than a dozen Russian drones that crossed into the country's airspace. Trump has downplayed Russia's drone incursion.
Could have been a mistake. Could have been a mistake.
But Poland insists it was deliberate. Texas Congressman Michael McCall telling ABC he believes it was too.
With all deference to the president, I don't think that was a mistake. I think Putin is testing the resolve of NATO.
It's been 1 month since Trump rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska, promising he would face severe sanctions if he didn't agree to a ceasefire. Since then, though, Putin has only escalated the war. Mary Bruce, ABC News, Washington.
Now to the latest on the investigation into the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. This morning, authorities in Utah are preparing to bring charges against the man suspected of gunning down her husband 5 days ago. Matt Gutman reports.
This morning, authorities in Utah are poring over what they call a mountain of evidence against 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, the man authorities say fired that single fatal shot, killing Charlie Kirk. The district attorney saying they hope to file charges by tomorrow, but authorities say they're receiving little help from the suspect who turned himself in Thursday.
He's not cooperating, but all the people around him are cooperating.
Utah's governor saying they have interviewed Robinson's roommate, with whom they say he was romantically involved. Authorities say it was his own father who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office after seeing those grainy pictures that were shared with the public. And according to the New York Times, those images were also recognized by acquaintances of the suspect in a group chat on a messaging app. Several of the group members apparently joking with the alleged shooter about how he resembled the person in the photos. The messages described by the Times reportedly show one user tagging the suspect's username and asking, "Where are you at?" with a skull emoji. Suspect quickly responding that the man in the picture was his doppelganger and that people were trying to get him in trouble. Law enforcement sources telling us they believe he was hiding his long gun underneath his clothing. Hours later, as Charlie Kirk fired up the crowd, tossing out hats, authorities say the suspect made his way to the roof of a building about 175 yards from the stage and waited out of sight. At 12:22 p.m., investigators say the alleged shooter sprang into that sniper position. A minute later, at 12:23 p.m., Kirk began answering a question about gun violence.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
The suspect taking that single shot and then dropping off the roof. And this morning, tributes are pouring in for Kirk, who turned out millions of young voters for President Trump's re-election campaign and whose ultra-conservative views earned him a massive online following, as well as many detractors. Overnight, lawmakers honoring Kirk at the Kennedy Center in Washington. Charlie Kirk's widow speaking out for the first time over the weekend, holding back tears for the 31-year-old husband and the father of her children.
I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart.
Following the mass stabbing on a Manitoba First Nation this month, some First Nations leaders are calling for better internet and cell service in rural and remote communities to help prevent future incidents. Alex Karpa has more on the safety issue.
This was the scene in Hollow Water First Nation after a mass stabbing took place last week in the community. An 18-year-old woman was killed and several others were injured. The attacker later died in a highway crash with an RCMP vehicle. Residents in Hollow Water rely on landlines and Wi-Fi calling for communication, much like other communities outside of urban centers. It appears authorities did respond quickly to the scene without issue, but some First Nations leaders say the lack of connectivity left residents vulnerable.
This is a discussion that we've been having for a long time. Most of the focus has been on urban centers, when it leaves our communities, our First Nations at risk.
Manitoba Grand Chief Garrison Sept says there will be more tragedies if nothing is done, citing safety concerns. Joel Templeman says this conversation is driven by the fact that internet and connectivity is treated as a commodity and not used for the common good.
The priority is not public safety or public access. It still comes down to it being a commercial interest, and it costs a lot of money.
Wayne Kelly says this issue isn't just Manitoba related, but countrywide. He says well over 90% of Canadians in urban spaces have access to basic gigabit internet service. That number then, he says, significantly drops to around 60% for those living on First Nations communities.
If we wouldn't accept that poor quality in 2025 in sort of Brandon or Winnipeg, why should we be asking our First Nations neighbors, our rural neighbors, to accept that quality in 2025 as well?
Those I spoke to say this summer has underscored the need for proper connectivity in the north, not just with the recent mass stabbing, but with the hot and dry weather that produced one of the worst wildfire seasons on record, impacting tens of thousands of people right across the country. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Now to a troubling new report from the Wall Street Journal. Their investigation shows that toxic fumes have sometimes leaked into airplanes, making crews and passengers dangerously ill. Gio Benitez reports.
This morning, a new Wall Street Journal investigation says across airlines, the rate of flights with toxic fumes is accelerating, spiking in 2017, driven in large part by leaks on a particular Airbus jet, the A320.
That kind of raised that question. Well, what changed in 2017?
According to the Journal's review of internal documents, Airbus loosened maintenance rules following suspected fume events.
An aircraft would have an event and the issue wouldn't be dealt with and then be sent back into the skies regardless.
In a statement to ABC News, Airbus says its aircraft are designed and manufactured according to all relevant and applicable airworthiness requirements. The Journal says a neurologist has treated about a dozen pilots and more than 100 flight attendants for what has been described as brain injuries after alleged exposure to fumes on planes over the last 20 years.
Our union has been concerned about this for decades, and we've been concerned about it because of the very real life consequences that crew members have faced.
On most planes, air is pulled in from the outside through engines. So if any seals are worn or degraded, oils from lubricated bearings enter the air and vaporize heat, releasing unknown quantities of toxic compounds, according to the Wall Street Journal report. But not all smells or vapors are toxic. The FAA telling us they are rare. Quote, studies have shown cabin air is as good as or better than the air found in offices and homes, adding that airlines are required to report such fume events to them. Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Saskatoon Rowing Club hosted a paddle party on Saturday. The rowing club invited canoeists and kayakers enthusiasts to join their local event at Pike Lake. The event featured both a 5-kilometer race and 300-meter sprint.
Special. We're innovating. You know what? We want to have a good time, and create a bit of a legacy and for all three sports. Yeah, it was just awesome.
The event was Saskatchewan's first regatta featuring rowing, canoeing, and kayaking. On the football field, the Regina Thunder continue to roll.
Fakes the handoff to Borsch. It's a pass over to the middle to Diorio. They haven't been able to connect on that pass all day. This one's broken free. It's Diorio in for the touchdown.
Hit the spin move. Check that out. Not bad. The Thunder beat the Winnipeg Rifles 25-12 on Sunday at Leibel Field. Saskatoon Hilltops, by the way, trounced the Calgary Colts 51-3. It was so rainy this weekend that I have a wetland that runs by my house leading all the way up actually to your house, and it overflowed the culvert. It's really, really wet out there.
I know. I went out on a walk after the storm, and I just got to see all the areas where we saw all those puddles left over. Quite the storm.
Unbelievable. Weather and then a contest.
Yes, yeah. So stay with me for just a moment because we have some really exciting news in just a moment. First, we have to talk about this fog, which is starting to lift. It's sort of comical when I say to you that conditions are improving out there, but they are slowly but surely, at least for us here in Regina. Visibility is sitting at 1 kilometer right now. Where we're still seeing the densest fog this morning is actually up through Lloydminster and over through Prince Albert. Make sure you're keeping your eyes on the road this morning. 17 degrees, though, still for Regina. Winds currently very calm for both Regina and Saskatoon. 13 degrees is where we're sitting for Saskatoon. Now here's a look at that dense fog advisory still in effect. Again, keep your eyes on the road this morning. We got to keep everybody safe. The radar and satellite also showing how that rain moved through yesterday evening into those overnight hours, really impacting the southeast corner of the province. And that's also where we're seeing it later on this morning as well. Estevan going to be seeing it during those later morning hours into the early afternoon. And it does come with some storm activity, so be aware of that. Later on into the afternoon, we start to see it pushing off into Manitoba, but it doesn't really exit the province down throughout the central or the southern zones until the late overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we're still seeing some of that rain in the north and then tracking south down through central Saskatchewan into the later afternoon. Now, current temperatures showing that Spiritwood has only bumped up 1 degree in the past 2 hours, now sitting at 14 degrees. Hudson Bay still at 16 degrees to start the day. Swift Current 13 degrees, Yorkton 17 degrees. Later on this afternoon, though, temperatures are going to be really nice. 27 degrees now expected for Moose Jaw, 26 degrees for Swift Current. Cooler down through the southeast, but again, that's where we're also seeing some of that rain today. Estevan can expect that high of 21 and Weyburn up to 22 degrees. Here's a look at the rest of your work week. 23 degrees will be the high in Regina today, 23 tomorrow, but then Wednesday and Thursday, those are the days we have a chance. It is low, only about 40% right now, of getting some light drizzle on some parts of those afternoons. Again, we could still be seeing some of that sunshine, though, during those breaks. Friday with that mix of sun and cloud up to 18 degrees. And in Saskatoon, 25 degrees today will be the high, well above that seasonal average of 18 degrees. 23 tomorrow, 21 for Wednesday, 22 on Thursday, and 22 on Friday. All right, so here's what we're talking about. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is money. Head to the contest page on ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca or scan that QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your info for a chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow for a brand new code word. Good luck.
Time, just take your time. the first time ever, WWE is giving fans a look deep behind the scenes at how it all comes together. So our next guest is a Canadian, a wrestler, a model, and stunt woman, and is one of the top stars of the WWE's women's division, Chelsea Green. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan.
Thanks for having me. I love doing anything Canada related, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you do a lot in the ring, Canada related as well. But before we get into what you're up to currently in this new show, I want to take a look back. We had the honor of watching a younger Chelsea Green live in Saskatchewan, and we even had you in our studio here in Saskatoon probably more than a decade ago, touring with Canada's wrestling elite all those years. Do you ever think back on that? Do you remember those days?
That's so funny that you bring it up, because I was just speaking about this with a couple of wrestlers at NXT this week, and we were talking about, it's called the Hell Tour, where you travel through Sask and you spend like 10 days on the road, and it's hell. But I loved it. I lived for it.
Well, it's part of paying your dues, and now here you are, one of the featured players on the new show WWE Unreal. It's on Netflix, and it goes really deep behind the scenes, and we as fans get to see how the stories come together, how the matches are choreographed. The business has never really exposed itself like this before. Are there any nerves or apprehension about showing these previously unknown parts of the job?
I mean, at the end of the day, that, as a fan, is what I always wanted to see. I dreamed of getting a behind-the-scenes glimpse of what the wrestlers did day to day, or how they put matches together, or how Triple H led a meeting, a creative meeting. So I was really excited for it. Of course, there's always nerves, you know. In this day and age, everyone is so quick to cancel, and so that's very nerve-wracking, but all I can do is be myself and hope that people like what they see.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like at least we get to see the real you on this show. I was fascinated. There was one moment in one of the storyline planning sessions they show where they actually had you chosen to win the Royal Rumble, and that story changed. But were you aware of that before you saw it on Unreal?
No, and in fact, I watched Unreal live with the rest of the world. So when you guys saw that, I also saw it, and now I'm a tiny bit heartbroken that I didn't get to come out at number 30 and win the Royal Rumble. So here's hoping that we use that storyline, you know, in the next couple of years.
It's true. That would have been a crazy ending to one of the best matches of the year. Chelsea Green, thank you so much for coming on with us. We don't have much time. I cannot wait to see you continue to fly your Canadian colors in WWE. And it looks like you may have Charlotte Flair in your sights heading into the fall. So good luck with the Queen.
Thank you. We should wish her the best of luck, actually.
All right. All the best to Charlotte and to Chelsea Green. Thank you. WWE Unreal streaming on Netflix now. Make sure you check it out.
And the Emmy goes to Adolescence.
British crime drama Adolescence was the big winner at the 77th Emmy Awards. The Netflix series won the Limited Anthology Series or Movie categories for Outstanding Series, Directing, Writing, Supporting Actor for Owen Cooper, Supporting Actress for Erin Doherty, and Lead Actor for Stephen Graham.
I'm just a mixed-race kid from a block of flats in a place called Kirby. So for me, to be here today in front of my peers and to be acknowledged by you is the utmost humbling thing I could ever imagine in my life.
Seth Rogen, The Studio.
In the comedy categories, The Studio was the big winner, taking home 4 Emmys, with Seth Rogen winning Lead Actor.
I've never won anything in my life. When I was a kid, I bought a used bowling trophy at an estate sale. And my parents were like, yeah, that's a good idea. You should probably buy that.
And returning to the stage for writing, directing, and outstanding comedy series.
It's getting embarrassing. I really appreciate it, in all honesty.
The Pit.
Medical drama The Pit won 3 Emmys for Outstanding Drama Series, Catherine Lanasa winning Supporting Actress, and Noah Wiley for Lead Actor, marking his first Emmy win.
To anybody who's going on shift tonight or coming off shift tonight, thank you for being in that job. This is for you.
And the Emmy goes to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Arguably the biggest standing ovation of the night went to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and its win for Outstanding Talk Show.
Sometimes you only truly know how much you love something when you get a sense that you might be losing it. And 10 years later, in September of 2025, my friends, I have never loved my country more desperately. God bless America. Stay strong, be brave, and if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy and punch a higher floor. Woo!
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Virginia Miller is turning 94 years old, but don't let her age fool you. She may be in better shape than most of us.
Yeah, Kirk Tupa introduces us to this 94-year-old balance and wellness instructor.
Take a breath.
94-year-old Virginia Miller is a balance and wellness instructor. She's been teaching a class for those 50 years old and up for about 10 years now. Virginia graduated from Syracuse University with a health major and taught health at a high school for 29 years. So it's no surprise she practices what she preaches.
We need to exercise, eat right, sleep, control stress. Those are the things that keep you from aging.
Christine Feeder started attending these classes in 2013 after an accident left her down and out.
I was in a lot of pain, so I started coming to the class and the pain started going away.
Some of the women in this class are over 70 and a few are close to Virginia's age. The class is geared to help overcome balance problems, lessen pain like that of arthritis, and even help recovering cancer patients.
Virginia will tell you, just do what you can do. You know, don't overdo it. If you want to use just one weight instead of 2, just do that.
Virginia may be getting up there in age, but she's still sharp as a tack and keeps herself educated on the latest in health discoveries.
Lifting weights preserves your brain from aging. It stops the aging process, or at least slows it down. And this is very new information.
Those attending the class say it's become a family-like atmosphere and would encourage anyone 50 or older to get on your feet and take a class.
As you get older, you need stimulation. You know, you can't sit home all day and be a couch potato. You have to get up and you have to get out of the house.
The class lasts for about an hour every Tuesday morning, and Virginia expects to teach the class as long as she can.
As long as my body will allow me, and I expect to do it until the day I die.
Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
94, still doing it. That's fantastic.
Well,
Impressive.
that's very impressive.
I think I need a balance class of my own. Well, check this out. Just destroyed this Muppet.
It's Humpty Dumpty, who was supposed to be sitting on a wall.
Yeah, but it's going to take a lot of Kingsmen to put him back together.
Yeah. And maybe just retire Humpty Dumpty, because I don't know. I don't know. He looks tired.
Yeah.
Odd. Have you ever heard of the World Breakfast Championship? Well, it is a thing, and there's a lot of excitement in Peru as they advocate for their pan con chicharron, a pork sandwich. It's in the finals after making through multiple rounds featuring 16 countries. It's up against Venezuela's arepa. People in Peru taking this very seriously, dressing up like pigs to cheer on their pork sandwich.
Okay.
I don't think I would have that for breakfast.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would eat a lot of things for breakfast,
I would have
not
two.
that.
Would you? I have a mental block. I can't
It looks delicious.
I don't know why I can't do dinner food until noonish. Mental block
It's
of
not.
that.
It's like, think of like pork sausage. That's breakfast, right? The same
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. When you frame it in that mindset, Jeremy, glass is always half full.
There you go. I like that.
That's right. It's always in your head.
Need some positivity. Look how big that thing is. You're feeding the village with that. My goodness.
Ooh. All right. Well, here's one last one for you. A YouTuber in England has recreated one of Canada's Wonderland's most stunning roller coasters, and he did it with
Connects. You have not reached this toy yet.
Man.
No.
You have not reached this toy. This toy is fun.
So it's
Tedious.
just a
Yeah, it is
massive
great.
replica of the Yukon Striker. It took 60,000 pieces to complete, and between 5 and 6 weeks of work. Wow.
My goodness. The tedious work.
Does it run?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Not all heroes wear capes. Isn't that what they say? Thank you for being with us on the first edition of Your Morning Saskatchewan. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.